So you want to study finance, what better place to do it than in Switzerland? I personally have not studied finance, I studied IT management. However, I did research some finance courses and I am happy to share some of them with you today. So today I'll be sharing the universities, what exact courses they have in finance, the semester fees, the additional costs, and some of the scholarships that these universities offer. So I'll be looking at my screen time to time where I have all the information, and I will be putting up the information right here on this corner probably. Now in this video I'll be covering all of the courses of finance that are in masters and not the ones in bachelors, because the ones that I've found are mostly master's degrees and not the bachelors in finance. So if you do have a bachelor's degree in finance, you are eligible to apply for this masters. If you don't have a bachelor's degree in finance, I am honestly not sure how it works with a master's degree, but you most likely need a background in finance or in business administration. So the first university that we have is UZH or ETH. This means that the classes will be conducted in both campuses, in both UZH in Zurich as well as ETH in Zurich. And the course that I'm specifically talking about is the Masters in Quantitative Finance. Now the semester fee for this is 720 Swiss francs, and there are additional costs such as application fee and the 100 franc foreign surcharge per semester. Now I know this might seem a little weird, but there is a foreign surcharge, especially when it comes to the University of UZH. That's what I've heard. I don't know if any other universities do practice this. I think University of say Gallen has this fee, but I'm not 100% sure. Apart from this joint master's course, UZH also does offer masters in banking and finance, which also comes to around 720 francs per semester. Now we do have 2 semesters per year, so you do have to keep this in mind. So 2 semesters and 1 semester is 720 francs. Then the next course that we have is from EPFL. They have a master's in financial engineering, and their semester fee is also around 780 Swiss francs. So as you can tell, the tuition costs in Switzerland are quite affordable, but the living costs are extremely high. And if you're interested in the living costs, I'll link the video somewhere in this corner. Then we have the University of St. Gallen that offers masters in banking and finance. Now their semester fee is on the higher end, around 3,329 Swiss francs per semester, and there is an application fee of 220 Swiss francs. Now if I'm not mistaken, all of universities have this application fee, and it comes to around 200 francs per application. This is something that you just have to pay in the beginning of your application to study. Then we have the University of Geneva that offers a course, the master's course in finance. Now, the University of Geneva has lots of masters in finance courses, but I'm not exactly sure how these classes work. I do know that they have a master's in wealth management, but I'm not sure if it's just in wealth management or there are multiple other courses in one, and they're just called masters in finance. This is something that you'll have to do research on your own. Probably you'll have to reach out to the admissions team. I'm not entirely sure, but this is the research that I've done by just Googling around and looking around the internet of masters in finances. And the semester fee for University of Geneva is around 500 Swiss francs. And lastly, we have the University of Lausanne that offers masters in finance with also around 500 Swiss francs per semester. There are no additional fees that I found for this university. However, don't be surprised if something does come up when you're applying to study here. Now that we know the universities and the courses that they offer in finance, let's talk about the scholarships. Yes, Switzerland does offer scholarships, and even if you're applying from abroad, you are eligible to apply for these scholarships. However, there are foundation programs that you can only apply once you're in Switzerland. And this is something that I'll cover later in the video as well. So the first scholarship I want to talk about is by ETH. It's called Excellent Scholarship and Opportunity Program. And this scholarship covers the full tuition fees as well as the living costs. I'm not exactly sure of the exact number of how many Swiss francs this scholarship is, but what I found is that it just covers tuition fees as well as the living costs. So everything that you'd possibly need as a student. And the application window for this scholarship is 1st of November until the 30th of November this year. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first round of the scholarships. I'm not sure if there will be another round of application to these scholarships in spring, because for some universities there are 2 rounds of applications. And the next we have EPFL, Master Excellence Fellowships. this covers up to 10,000 Swiss francs per semester, and it's a full program length. They also have room reservation awards. Now, I'm not sure exactly how room reservation works. I don't know anyone who has this scholarship, so I couldn't ask them personally, otherwise I would have. And the application window for this scholarship is between December 15th, 2025 until the end of December, if I'm not mistaken, and March 31st, 2026. This is when the second round of the scholarship application begins. And then we have the HSG Excellence or Star International Foundation programs, which covers the full tuition fees. The first round of this scholarship application is the 1st of October for the autumn semester, and the second round is 1st of March for spring semester. So as you can tell, for the scholarships, there are mostly 2 applications in the fall and in the spring. And lastly, I do want to mention the foundation programs. Now, most universities, if not all in Switzerland, do offer foundation programs, which means that they give you a specific amount of Swiss francs in order to be able to cover both your tuition and your living expenses. Now, how you cover this is completely up to you. They might give you a certain amount, and then you'll have to find a way to budget it yourself throughout the semester. Now, these scholarships, yes, they're given for your study period. However, if you do not perform well, they can always take away these scholarships. So you need to be sure that you perform very well in your studies, you actually focus on your studies, and you'll have the foundation or the scholarship secured. Now, in order to study in these universities in Switzerland, of course, you'll have to apply for a student visa. And I have actually done a very in-depth video on it, so I'll link that in this corner as well. And I just want to give you a brief information of what kind of documents will be expected from you. So basically, you'll need a Type D national visa form, which you'll have to fill up yourself. This is something that you can find on the internet with just a quick Google search. Then you'll have to have proof of funds. Now, this is extremely important to have proof of funds in your FinMy account. In Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken, the minimum amount that you can show is 21,000 Swiss francs per year. However, I'm not sure if this goes to all of the universities, because for the University of Bern or EPFL, for example, you will need around 29,000 Swiss francs per year in order to be able to live comfortably. Well, not live comfortably, but that's the amount that you'll have to show in order to apply for the visa. And then, of course, we have the work limits that I should mention. So you can only start working in Switzerland 6 months after you arrive. You cannot work immediately after you come to Switzerland. And even if you're doing a master's degree and not a bachelor's degree, you still have a limit of 15 hours that you can work per week. That's a maximum amount. But during the winter break, you can work 100%. And I have also made a video on that, which I'll link somewhere here. I keep doing it on this side, but it's actually on this side. There we go. Now, for the scholarships, I'm not sure what exactly the requirements are, but I'm sure that you'll need very, very high grades, as well as probably great job experience. You'll need referrals. However, for the foundation program, they don't look at your grades, but they also look at your the effort that you have put into studying in Switzerland, what kind of awards you've won, what kind of courses you've taken, have you done anything extra outside of school. So this is something that you'll have to mind for the foundation program. If you're looking for more details, I would suggest you to do a Google search on the exact university that you're looking for, followed by the title foundation programs, and then you'll find all of the details of what is required from you. They also require additional documents. They require you to explain how much you pay for rent and other things like that. So this is something, again, that you'll have to look into yourself. I don't have too much details, at least not in this video. And that was it for this video. I know this is a bit of a short video. However, I did want to cover some of the finance courses that I have found in Switzerland. And if I knew anyone personally who are doing these courses, I would have, interviewed them or asked them about it, but I don't know anyone. But I still hope that you found this video valuable, and I'll see you in my next videos. And if you want to find out about, living in Switzerland and other videos, check them out right over here, somewhere in this corner.